Good Monday morning, Central Georgia. You're taking a live look over the city of Dublin. I just want you to stop what you're doing right now. Take a look at your screen. That's sunrise. It's looking so beautiful. The time is now 6:30 a.m. here on this November the 14th. I'm Wanye Reese.
And I'm Caitlin Heck, but don't let that sunrise fool you because the second you walk outside, it is cold out there, Alex.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, I would allow a few extra minutes to defrost your windshield this morning because I had to do that as well. 35 in Byron, 34 in Macon, 36 in Warner Robins, 37 down in Cochrane as well as down in Hawkinsville this morning. We've got 36 in Milledgeville down to the south, more 30s, 39 up in Forsyth, 37 in McRae, 38 in Cordele, and 34 the current number in Americus. You factor in the wind, feeling like the 20s in a few spots in Macon and Montezuma, Americus, Eastman, 32 in Dublin, 32 in Swainsboro, and 29 is what it feels like right now in Wrightsville. Nothing to speak of out there on the radar picture, and as we head into the day ahead, we're going to be looking at temperatures rising into the upper 50s, 57 there by 2, 59 by 4 p.m. And that 59 is going to be our high temperature for the day ahead. But we do have partly cloudy skies returning tonight, and then eventually some rainfall as we get into tomorrow. So this picture over Dublin going to look far different tomorrow morning. I've got all the details on that, including an hour-by-hour look at future view and an early look at your weekend forecast. All that comes your way here in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Alex. Now, while Republicans control Georgia's legislature and executive branch, on the federal level after the midterms, Democrats will keep control of the Senate.
That's after victories in close races in Nevada and Arizona.
Meanwhile, many in the country are still watching Georgia's Senate race because it could determine whether Republicans share power or Democrats gain a slim margin. Neither candidate in Georgia reached that 50% plus one vote threshold needed to win outright. So Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker meet again for the runoff on December the 6th.
Here's what you need to know about next month's runoff. First, you can vote early. Depending on your county, it could start as early as next Saturday, November the 26th, or on Monday, November the 28th. If you're requesting an absentee ballot, you can do that right now, but they won't be sent out until after this Friday, November the 18th. County election offices should announce their early voting days and times relatively soon. If you didn't register to vote by November the 7th, you cannot vote in this upcoming runoff.
Right now, Macon State Senator John Kennedy now holds one of the highest positions in the Georgia General Assembly. That's
right. Kennedy won his 5th term with 64% of the vote Tuesday against Democrat Chris Benton.
I'm just deeply honored that my caucus members trusted me and support me and have the confidence in my ability to lead the Senate chamber in this position.
Last week, the Republican caucus voted him as Senate Pro Tem. The Georgia Senate chamber now features 33 Republicans and 23 Democrats. Kennedy will preside over the Senate when Lieutenant Governor-elect Burt Jones is absent. He'll also act as the head of the Senate's Republican caucus.
So we'll be meeting to formulate the policy that we want to pursue coming up next year. So we haven't quite had time to start that, but we will be working on that very soon so that when we start in January this year, starting to work with the people, that we'll do so and hitting the ground running.
The General Assembly will convene on January the 9th.
Now, taking a closer look at local races that will head to that December 6th runoff. That includes the race for Macon Water Authority District 2. Candidates Desmond Brown and Lindsay Holliday face each other. Also, people in Milledgeville's City Council District 5 head back to the polls. The top two finishers in Tuesday's race are Shania Mapp and Oscar Davis.
6:34 this morning, we're waiting to see if there will be charges after a wrong-way crash left one man dead and I-75 shut down for part of the weekend. The Bibb County Sheriff's Office says it happened yesterday morning around 1 a.m. on the Pierce Avenue off-ramp. They say 35-year-old Kyle Patterson drove north in the southbound lane and crashed into 20-year-old Hamando Diallo, killing him. Patterson is in critical condition right now. Well, the NAACP of Baldwin and Milledgeville is talking about crime today. They're holding a forum centered on crime, unsolved murders, and other issues affecting the African-American community. Local law enforcement and city leaders plan to join in on the meeting. The event's going to be happening at Union Baptist Church off of North Clark Street at 6 this evening. Well, today the Macon Bibb Planning and Zoning was set to have a packed agenda, but some items were deferred, including a massive logistics center that was proposed for Cavalier Drive. It would be next to the Mount DeSales athletic fields. Another item deferred for the time being, the plan to demolish 2 historic buildings in downtown Macon. First Presbyterian Church has asked Planning and Zoning for approval to build a new outdoor activity and worship center on Mulberry Street. But to do that, the church has to demolish 2 of its standing buildings, something the Historic Macon Foundation has encouraged people to oppose. The agenda says the item is deferred from this meeting until developers put in another plan. There are some items planning and zoning could decide on today, though. The Bear's Den restaurant on Oglethorpe Street near Mercer University is looking to grow. It's asking planning and zoning for permission to demolish a single-family home that's behind the business, along with the driveway so the eatery can pave a parking area. The business says this will help solve the traffic congestion that folks see during the peak times at the restaurant. Then on the north side, developers are asking the board for approval to build 132 apartment units in a 4-story building. The property is located on Bass Road and Providence Boulevard. Developers say the complex would be known as the Whitney at Bass. Planning and zoning is set to meet today at 1:30 over at Terminal Station.
All right, 6:36 in your state news. A police officer in Noonan is off the job and facing charges after crashing his patrol car. The Noonan Police Department says an officer crashed his department-issued car on Friday around 5:30 as he was driving to work. No other vehicles were involved. The Georgia State Patrol responded and after investigating, arrested the officer under the suspicion of a DUI. Noonan said they later fired the officer for violating department policy. The department did not give the officer's name or say what he was charged with by the Georgia State Patrol. They also did not say if he got hurt. And this morning, we're waiting for an update after a standoff in Butts County. It started when the Jackson Police Department responded to a call of a person screaming in the Fox Hollow subdivision yesterday. Authorities say when police got there, one person shot at them, but no officers got hit. As of last night, the person was barricaded in the home and a SWAT team took over the scene. That's according to Butts County Sheriff's Office. One officer got hurt during the exchange with the barricaded gunman, but deputies say he did not get shot. They say he likely got hurt jumping out of a window at the home.
It's now 6:37 on your Monday morning, but this Wednesday you can join us to help fight hunger during the holidays. We're partnering with the Middle Georgia Community Food Bank to stuff the truck and help feed families in our community, but we need your help, Central Georgia, to get it done. You can stop by one of 2 Walmart locations to donate non-perishable food items. Just look for the big trucks. You can't miss them. They'll be parked in front of Walmart stores on Watson Boulevard and Warner Robins and Zebulon Road in Macon. Your donations will stay right here in Central Georgia, helping our neighbors who find themselves in need this Thanksgiving season. We hope to see you this Wednesday. Coming up next.
We started noticing that, in fact, a lot of people had left the workforce and weren't coming back.
The Great Resignation, and we are still seeing workers leave their jobs. How did the pandemic change the way we want to work? We'll dig into that question later right here on 13 WMAZ News Morning.
And we'll tell you about the Christmas lights in downtown Macon getting ready for the big extravaganza. Details on the month-long Christmas experience. Right now, though, the time is 6:38. It definitely feels a little more Christmas-like than November-like out there this morning.
Definitely, and Alex was giving us a little preview into the forecast for Thanksgiving, and I mean, it's going to feel like the holidays for sure, it seems like.
Yeah, it's either going to be kind of wet or very cold across central Georgia. It does look like we're going to have one of those big cold fronts come through that's going to bring showers with it. It's just a question of when the timing lines up there. But yeah, that's what we're looking at least as things stand right now. 58 is all we did yesterday. The average high is 70, so 12 degrees below that. Got down to 37 yesterday morning as well. Even colder across the area this morning. There's a live look across downtown as the sun is beginning to come up. 34, the current number. Feels like 28, though, courtesy of that east-northeast wind at about 7 miles an hour. 33 in Monticello, 36 in Milledgeville. We've got 36 in Warner Robins, 32 in Butler, 35 in Montezuma, 39 in Thomaston, and 37 down in McRae. Feeling like the 20s in a few spots this morning as well, including Macon, Montezuma, Americus, Eastman. Feeling like 30 in Forsyth, 32 in Eatonton, and 32 in Milledgeville. Nothing to speak of out there on the radar picture, and we are thankful for that because if there was, we would not be talking about rain across central Georgia. We're looking at high pressure up towards the north, ushering in that northeasterly wind. As this high slides just a little more to the east, we are going to get that wind coming in off the southern Appalachians. That's going to allow for a weak wedge to set up today as well. So generally speaking, cooler to the north and east across the area, but back here into Kansas and into Nebraska, that's our next front developing, and that's going to bring us even colder conditions by the time we get to the end of the week. So here's how it shapes up on future view. 30s this morning, 50s later on this afternoon. Notice the clouds on the increase. There we are at about 5 p.m. Temperature still in the 50s. Sunset obviously much earlier than it was 2 weeks ago. And then we've got rain building in here. 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So headed to work and school tomorrow morning. Going to need the rain jacket and maybe a winter jacket as well, as temperatures will be in the 40s. Here we are about the 11 a.m. hour. Scattered showers across the area, and then that's going to continue continue through the day. It could be heavy at times. Could be looking at locally heavy downpours as you see some of those yellows and oranges in there as well. But we will be clearing out Tuesday night into Wednesday, waking up to mostly clear skies by the time we get to Wednesday morning and afternoon, clearing out through the day on Wednesday. Before we get to Thursday, that's when the front comes through, mostly dry with this cold front, but we are going to be looking at much colder air and then smooth sailing into the weekend as well across central Georgia. So even colder by the end of the week. We've got 31 this morning for the low, going down to 29 by Friday morning before all is said and done. And 29, that would tie our coldest so far this season. You might remember last month we did get down to 29 at least one morning. Now, thinking about putting up the Christmas lights, I've seen a few people been doing it. Today is a good day to do it, but tomorrow we've got that on and off rain. And then by the time we get to Wednesday, looking at windy conditions. So if you're up there on the roof, don't fall over or else the wind would not make for a good scenario there. Temperatures into the 50s later on this afternoon. Our high temperature about 59. Calling it a cold morning followed by a sunny afternoon. Sunrise is at 7:04. Then for tonight, 45. Sunset at 5:34. There's your 7-day forecast. Each day is at least 10 degrees below the average high over the next 7 days. Pretty good chance of rain tomorrow, so don't forget the umbrella and rain jacket. Small rain chance there on Thursday before we get down to 29 degrees Friday morning.